Welcome. Not that I really anticipate anybody jumping on right now. I'm doing my live mostly just to see if I can, and I'm too lazy to make the video and then upload it later. So I'm going for all at one time here. I am a member of the DAFI Disabled Artist Foundation design team, and it is sponsored by Kathy of Kathy's World and Friends. And we all had kind of the same kits. There was a little differences maybe in the materials that were in them, but we all had to do one project per kit, although they were kind of like whatever you want to use it for is fine. So, with that being said, this is probably my favorite, and it just kind of started its own life and had its own life and became who it wanted to be. This is a fabric book. This is my own fabric that I have made. It is rusted fabric, and I picked the coolest with the washer there. And it's just together. This is kind of a grungy little book here. I used laundry pin as a closure. This will wrap around and tuck back in here and then wrap in there. So it's kind of different. I mean, it's not tied. You can tie it if you want. You can do it however you want, but the laundry pin just kind of keeps it in place. So that's the bag, which I think is just gorgeous. And this is my book. And you can tell more on this side. This was all pretty country little calico type prints. And I had to do grungy. The minute I seen it, I knew exactly what it was going to be. That doesn't happen very often, so I had to follow through. So I painted and I gessoed it, and then I painted hit and miss paint, and I grunged it up. I used, besides the gesso, I used paint, I used fabric, I used paper, I used distress crayons, I used Vicky Bouton's crayons. I've got some metal in here, some string, some watercolor paper, and quite a bit of other stuff. So these are my pages. I got a little piece of washi tape. I did glue it in, but I decided it needed a little more. So it's got staples, which you can't really see unless you're looking for. And that's cool because it's all in the grungy. But you got to have a little frou with the grunge, I think. So we've got this. And then there's the next pages. And this is some watercolor pages. I decided it needed a little stiffness in there. I mean, the pages are pretty firm. They're quilted fabric. And again, like I said, I painted them and then oops, so sorry. That's what happens when you talk with your hands. So this one has got some Tim Holtz fabric. This little yellow swatch right here was a pink and white gingham, and I wanted it different, so I painted it. And over here is a little hand-stitched square, rusted fabric, wool felt, and a little, I don't know, little quote book page, but it's fabric. Over here is another little quilted hand sewn piece that I had done, but I decided to put it on here as a tab. So it can be a tab, but it's also part of the page. Plenty of room here for writing and writing. And in this one, I made it a pocket, and it has these library card journals cards in there, and the little rusted paper for tabs because you got to have the stuff sticking out the top and on the sides. So this page is another, and there's strings everywhere. This is another hand stitched with a piece of a vintage quilt on there. And I have here a little tag that's just a piece of 1861 out of a notebook. If they're writing and yeah, you know, they kept notes all the time, I guess, with the Tim Holtz fabric um, tag on it, not tag, but tab. Okay, it's been one of those days. And this is a true library card. Its oldest date is 70. Well, hi, ladies. I didn't really expect to see anybody, but thanks for coming. This one has some more of the fabric. I'm not sure if that's Tim Holtz fabric or not, but it was really thin, so I backed it with um, a book page. It's got a little tag in here. Some more fabric and stitching. And that's pretty much what we've got through here. There's a couple places where there's some tea bag. Again, this is another quilt block, and I have turned it into a pocket and a tab. And it's got some tags in there. And over here, I decided there's just not enough writing space. So I made this little book, just grunged it up, added my tab again. And this is airmail paper. I found it in my mom's stash and I was like going crazy because it's crinkly. Again, this one's just a little image. This is a big tea bag with some stamping on it. More pages, just fabric. I love doing this. It's just plopping it down and making it dirty. And again, another tab. Thanks, Jody. And here's some more of the tea bag, another pocket. This one has little tags in it, 2 little tags. These are some instant relatives if you needed them. And then the back is pretty simple, but this was in a piece of fabric. And I did really try hard to get it where the stitching wasn't in the wrong places. So I, some of it's stitched and then glued on so it looks like it's supposed to be there. So it's got its own IBN number. So that is the journal. The second thing, now the journal will be in the auction next month. And that's Kira's auction on the second Saturday of the month at noon Eastern time. Okay, so this is the little box. And this was just a plain little box that we were sent, and lots of fabric, and every one of us have done it different. It's just amazing. So I love collage and I love color. So I did this in a live with Vintage Ken, and this is all my hand painted papers, and I just chunk them up and glue them on, and then I draw on top of them and outline them. There's a little bit more I might do to this because there's not quite enough doodles, and it's got its own legs. So I don't know how well you can see that setting up, but it's you know, elevated, so it's really pretty cool. And the inside is really simple. It's just some of my hand painted deli paper up here. And I thought, you know, you can't have a treasure box without treasures, right? So it's going to have all these little bits of painted papers. Not all, but most of them could be an ATC. Definitely the biggest part of an ATC. And so that is all included with the box. So that was the second one. And the third one just got finished. She got to be previewed and auditioned on my Facebook page because I just didn't really know what I wanted to do with her when I got to this certain point. And I'll start off by telling you it was a dress form, a black plastic dress form. And this is what I saw when I made it. And I don't know how, she's probably going to have to lay down to be seen. She is my mermaid. She's kind of got that Egyptian flair. She's got a necklace, and she's got her little bangles over here, and she's got her wire wrapped bracelet over here. She's got a pearl. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see if this helps. Yeah, there we go. I'll learn this eventually. She's got a little pearl in her hair. She has her tail. This fabric was part of the kit, and it's kind of sheer, and I wanted it to, I didn't want the sheer and see the wood pole going up through it because and first of all, I made a wooden base because I wanted it to be as stable as possible. So to do the stuffing inside, I took polyfill and spread it out, and then I just sprayed it with some alcohol ink and blotted it. So it's blue. So you see through this turquoise-ish, and then there's some blue in there. Her shirt, top, whatever you want to call that, is hand dyed paper. You can kind of see over here. Let's see. Maybe not. Okay, anyway, when I picked this paper up, come on, you're supposed to self-focus, camera. Oops, my camera just came undone. So we're just going to have to make this pretty quick. I got to hold it. Anyway, this is a vintage doll head. She really did have her eyes closed and open because that's the kind of doll she was. But when I had to glue the stick in her head, that kind of stopped. But it's her own hair, the vintage doll. I am so sorry for this. I thought I had this figured out, but evidently I don't. So we're going to just try something here. Okay, so this is as good as it's going to get for right now. So anyway, she's got her roses around her waist and some fringy beads, and they go all the way around, and her little shawl. The arms are vintage doll arms also, and they had the little hooks on them that you could hook them and make them move. And I tried and tried and tried, and every time I do it, they'd come undone. So needless to say, they're glued in. I wasn't happy with it because I wanted it to be nice and smooth and pretty. So that's why she has the shawl. And that was the voted #1 item of the 6 I asked people if they liked. So that's my mermaid. Haven't given her a name yet. If you have any ideas, please leave them below. And I'm going to close on that because I'm sitting here holding up my camera on its arm. So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.